jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What's good? Salute everyone. WCS back on the boulevard once again. Big shout out to the first in the building, Samara Warren on deck. Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS. Certified stamp the like button. Peace and blessings to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. What's good with you, bro? No sigh, I'm thinking. What up, family? What's good with you? Big shout out to everyone that's headed to the building. Come on in. You're welcome. We're going to talk about some issues. And you know, I'm just the one that wants to provide clarification, because it seems like certain individuals are overlooking the obvious. I just have like these minor questions, man. Like, it doesn't take a lot of troubleshooting. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something that should be spoken on and just provided a bit more understanding to the public. That's all. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just expanding what some people are looking over, and I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. That's all. Shout out to Jihad Tucker, junior middleweight prospect, satellite July 1st. I don't consider him a prospect. I think he's bigger than that. But he will be back in the square July 1st, man, Saturday. Huntington Center, Toledo, Ohio, under the Jared Anderson card. So absolutely, you know, respect the team, Tucker. Look forward to your 11th, professional fight as always. And I know for a fact you're going to put on a show. Please do me a favor and go over there to IG and support this young warrior. Mad talented, future world champion, fighting at 154 pounds. It's a lot of talented fighters up there. I'm just saying, you know how they say this one is special? I'm not saying no one else isn't special, man. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? 20 years old, mad talented, hungry, motivated. His team is locked in. That's all I'm saying. So be sure you go check him out. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. July 1st, televised card, Top Rank Boxing Promotions, the flagship. You already know. Bob Arum and the staff on deck once again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all definitely support Jihad Tucker, who is Jihad Tucker on IG. You understand that? Yes, sir. And Jason, hey man, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been over here in a minute. I forgot. You did tell me that last time. I forgot. Now I know. If you go dormant another 2 months, I might forget again, dog. I'm just saying, but I appreciate you being in the chat. So let's first get to the obvious on what's been going on. I spoke about the interviews earlier, and what was said on the interviews. Terrence Crawford last interview, or these are pre-recorded, edited, and all that, right? But the last interview that broke, it was with Brian Custer, Last Stand podcast, and I went over that earlier, right? But this live stream is more so to highlight, okay? To highlight. This is all I want you to do. I want you to understand this is one of those live streams to highlight. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just trying to get some clarification for those who may feel the way I feel when it comes down to this, right? So we already know Crawford and Spence is in training for whatever, method they have to the madness. They're both in training right now, right? So it's some things that concerned me that is projected from Spence. I know a lot of people when I was in person, how they was giggling, chuckling, laughing, knee slappers when he said they're gonna smoke some bud. And I thought it was funny how they thought it was funny when it really didn't make any sense to me, because I kind of broke that down, when I was doing a live stream. But it's okay. It wasn't personal. I just was curious at how, smoking deals with a fish and everything else. But I think Crawford summed it up. He said he was going to suffocate him. Now, you're talking about a guy who fished, right? Okay. So let's get down to first, I just returned from the first presser that they had out there on the West Coast. And that's what I was referencing, EJ telling his people to go out there and get the pack, get that bud strand, everything, he's putting it out there once again, because these same people was the ones who was buying all the shirts at first with the shark in the hallway, no bigger than the doorpost. They was the same one that was buying that. But me, analytically, I'm looking at it like, damn, that's a small ass shark. If it's in the doorway like that, that must be a baby shark or something. That must be a dolphin disguised as a shark, because the sharks I know way bigger than the doorpost. But anyway, they went out there and bought the shirts. I'm not trying to mess up nobody's money or discourage nobody from buying shit. Do what you want with your money, right? So he said he was taking them down on the same night Crawford was fighting Dave Avenesian, right? The same night where a 14-year-old stunt driver, from Smokey and the Bandit, was barreling down the road, and somehow, some way, the front end of his car hit the front end of Spence's vehicle. Now, it was never any type of news report that we can reference this off of, right? I don't know if they pulled the car out of the junkyard and put it on the street just for a little small video shoot to go on IG. I don't know. It might have been on the impound lot. Whoever car that might have been, that shit might have been sitting over there wrecked already, and they was waiting on the insurance company to get it. And they say, hey, Spence said he can give you a little bit of money if you let him use it for a little bit, just to put it in the middle of the intersection and stage a freaking accident scene. I don't know. They might have been shooting a freaking insurance commercial or something. I don't know, bro. But I just always wanted to know who the 14-year-old was, so I can kind of, do an interview with him and check him out a little bit. Say, hey, man, how long you been at this, man? You know what I'm saying? How long you been driving? What was the weather like? Was it raining the day that you was barreling down the roadway? Did you see any headlights on? Did you see any part of the vehicle that you smashed into? And once you hit that vehicle, what happened after that? Were you told to get out of the car? Did you know who you hit per se? Or did you hit the car and keep on pushing the gas and disappeared off the roadway? I'm just curious, how that happened, man. I just have questions. That's all. I would have liked to ask this guy. Period. But yeah, coming back from the West Coast, Beverly Hills, I just want to put it out there. People tend to not respect the game as much. But when people was hitting me up and saying they saw me on TV, I've been on TV before. Really, it's good for them to catch a glimpse. But I'm not really like I'm not that person. Like I really, being on TV, it does nothing for me really, unless I was getting paid for it or something. It's good that people see me out there. I've been out there for several years now, even with Javante Tank Davis, even with Deontay Wilder's freaking fight camp. But this right here, man, I try to explain to you all why I got there early and got my seat the way I did. But due to circumstances, some people thought that I was doing something wrong. But as you can see, I had a damn good seat, Shawty. I had a damn good seat. Don't never let nobody try to deter you from your mindset to do your job. Don't let them do that shit, especially in the media business. Anybody and everybody, they'll tell you in the media business, the early bird, and you already know the rest. The early bird. I don't know why people don't like that, because they always say, it's better to be ahead of time instead of on time. And then you be ahead of time and people act like it's against the law. But look at those two frames, man. Both fighters right there in front of me. Historic, bro. Historic. This is a Showtime screenshot. It was historic. But I'm speaking about the positive aspect. I was glad to see these two black men in person. Real talk. See Spence, see Crawford right there, right in front of me, doing a little shadow boxing, and then going up on stage. It's pretty memorable. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I was actually there, and no one got me credentials. I wasn't attached to no team. They got me credentials. I wasn't attached to no freaking manager, no promotion. I put in for credentials and got them. Just because the person, approved me, hey, they improved me for their own little weird way. But this was my whole point, was to get footage, and I got footage. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that up there because it means a lot to me to be able to, to be in Beverly Hills. I specifically chose Beverly Hills because I knew it wouldn't be a lot of media traffic out there as far as the YouTube community goes. I knew that a lot of people would probably just go to NYC because it's much more affordable and cost effective when you're talking about plane trips. I get it, bro. I get it. But, shout out to that moment right there. It was good to go. I ain't gonna lie. It was good shit. Let's get to another part of that presser. This is Terrence Crawford gazing, glowering at Errol Spence. This photo right here is somebody like myself. This is what I would like to be in position to get. It's difficult to get a photo like this when you're head on, and it's best for you to get a head on shot than to be, pretty much situated on the left and right flank, port starboard, right? But shout out to whoever took this picture. You know what I'm saying? This is a classic picture. This is what you call the MS, the money shot. They caught Bud Crawford looking at Spence or whoever he was looking at, in their first press conference. No, we don't know what Crawford was thinking in this shot, but it's extremely epic. You know what I'm saying? He's on. It's almost like he's looking through Errol. I don't know. I can't assume. I can. Well, not now. Not he's looking at this man. I just can't wait to July 29th. You know what I'm saying? He don't have what I have. He could have been having a conversation with himself. You know what I'm saying? He could have had a conversation to himself that we'll never know. His inner self was communicating, with this moment. He could have been thinking ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Just plan things over in his head on how this fight gonna go. Now that he's placed eyes on Spence right there in close proximity, it's no telling what he was thinking. But it's a damn good pitch, and whoever took it was it's a damn good money shot. Real talk. This is the money shot that you look for when you on deck with a camera as a photographer. Now, let's go to the thumbnail. I hear a lot of people speaking about the big fish. I hear a lot of people bragging. And, the one thing I say about the aerosexuals, when they buy these dang packs and they get the merch, which I don't have no problem with, they feel so jubilant. They feel so elated to be able to wear that shirt. And I get it. I get it. It's merch. You represent your fight. Okay, I get it, bro. I get it. But I have to, sit here and think about the merch. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Terrence, his merchandise as the Aquaman, with the shark on the tip of the trident, it holds more reality. It holds more reality to the thought process. You know what I'm saying? We talk about ring IQ, but yet we have to talk about just independent intelligence, period. Whoever got together and came up with that, it made sense. Now, in this particular case right here, for quite some time, Spence has been calling himself the big fish. I really don't know why he even took it a step further to say he was Moby Dick, because he said, you ain't catching me with no hook. You ain't catching me with no hook, right? You ain't catching me with no hook. And I get what he's saying. He's claiming to be the big fish, and you just can't catch me with no hook. I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? I get the whole deal. Like, you can't catch me with a hook. You can't. You can't catch me with a hook. But we are in the era of social media. And social media is that type of water that you don't see. You can get yourself drowned out here on social media. You know what I'm saying? Just based off the perception alone. It doesn't have to be a physical mass of water. Something that's physical, you know what I'm saying, that you have to go and get next to say, damn, that shit deep. No, social media can drown you based off the content alone, based off exposure. You know what I'm saying? And off that exposure, we're talking about expansion. Many people are able to access, certain social media from all different branches of platforms and stuff. And this is one of those cases right here. This is one of these cases. You have Arrow up there with a danger. Swim at your own risk because it looks good. You got a shark, silhouette, everything, an outline of a shark. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, I've seen that on movies before. I've seen that in person at beaches, especially coming up. I grew up swimming in lakes. I wasn't worried about no goddamn shark, just a little bit of water moccasins. But when I look at this shark, I'm saying, goddamn, okay, the shark, swim at your own risk. He called himself the big fish, this, that, and the other. I get it, bro. I get it. But then to the right, I became extremely bewildered. The reason why I became bewildered, because, when you think about certain things, right? You just start to put little pieces together, then you take them apart. You put them together again, take them apart, put them together again, take them apart. You see what you see, but you say to yourself, like, no, that can't be what I'm saying. That can't be what I'm saying. No. This man called him the big fish. This dude called him the big BIGFISH, the big fish. All I'm thinking about is him saying shark and Moby Dick. Now, I tried to explain to the people how Moby Dick ended and what happened to him, but that's not even topic of discussion right now. I'm talking about I like that shirt. I like that shirt. Danger. Swim at your own risk. And people that's looked at Jaws, people who've seen social media, people who've been in, seeing sharks in real life, they some big creatures, man. Those some big ass motherfuckers, bro. You know what I'm saying? A shark's teeth is so sharp, man. A shark in their own element, they can close down on you quickly. It's been people that lose their life. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good, bro. It sounds extremely good. But there's a lot of people that eats fish too. They eat fish. They use it as a dish. They use it as an item at some type of gathering or celebration, a cheval or whatever you want to call it, man. A fish is a dish. It is on the food chain. Fish is on the food chain, people. So let me play you this video because I was absolutely taken back for this shit. I started to just shut my channel down for a month and really, have some me time because I just wanted to process this shit correctly. And then when I came back to social media, maybe about a month or two later, I would say I'll say about 5 weeks. That'll put me close to July 29th, July 30th, right? I was thinking about coming back then to have better clarification as to the big fish, moniker and what it actually mean, because I'm thinking somebody who claims that they have to have some type of adaptation to the water. They have to be able to swim around in that motherfucker. They have to be able to get used to the depths and know that, hey, I'm a predator. You know what I'm saying? I'm a predator. I'm vicious. I'm to be feared. But when I seen this video, man, it just made me want to, take some time away from social media because people tell me it's like, damn, WCS, I know you just be joking sometimes, but you have a knack for being casually abusive with your words. And I'm like, how can I be to blame for that shit, bro? Your ad libs are a little bit, they're funny, but I said, what? Get it out. It just seems like sometimes you just cross the line with humor. I say, listen, if you cracked a smile or laugh once, that's what the purpose was. Now, if you come over here on some crybaby shit, you need to take your ass back to a private place and grab a huggy diaper. You know what I'm saying? Grab a goddamn gallon of milk out the fridge, pour some in the boiler, heat some milk up and shit, put it in a bottle, and find a nice little quiet space for you just to sit back and relax and suck on that milk and calm your punk ass down. You know what I'm saying? Don't come over here telling me shit because it's making sense. This is going to make a whole lot of sense. This dude titled himself the Big Fish, man. And I'm saying to myself, who came up with this brand? Who did that shit? Did you think it through? Or did you think the Big Fish through? Let me get to the video because this is very, very important. Please watch. If you choose to swim and see this particular shark next to the water, you're good to go. Don't worry about anything. It's harmless. It doesn't like water like all the other sharks. If you choose to swim and see this particular shark next to the water, you're good to go. Don't worry about anything. It's harmless. It doesn't like water like all the other sharks. I don't think this video was meant to be private, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously it's out in social media, but as you feel the way I do, I viewed that video and I couldn't fathom what I was watching. It was disturbing, the real talk. This is no way, shape, or form that arrow to upset you doing fight camp or anyone on your team. It's not. But I was somewhat terrified. I say, here's a guy who is saying he's a big fish, a shark, but yet his trainer is basically sprinkling tap water tap water onto you, and you're acting like you're totally new to the environment of water. This is not ocean water. This is not where all your family's supposed to be in the fish category, in the fish species. You was in a domesticated tub full of tap water, and you was being sprinkled with just water on your back, and you was like, stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm like, excuse me. I had to have a talk with myself. I said, no, 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 no. Hold, no. Hold up. No. There's some trickery going on right here. I sent this video for authentication. I sent it up to my people. I said, can you authenticate this video? I want to see if there's any type of Photoshop to this shit. I want to see if there's any type of alteration. I want to see if there's any type of manipulation going on with altering this video, because this is the motherfucking big fish. There's no way the big fish is hopping around and dancing and shit, all because he's probably getting in a tub of water. We don't know if it was room temperature or not, but it was a domesticated tub. It wasn't a trash can like you see most people. You know, they buy a clean trash can and fill it up with ice and get in there. No, this was a residential tub, and you rarely see a fish the size of a shark in a residential tub. But in this particular case, the special part about it was that we had the big fish and we had the trainer. And we've seen people rescue fish all the time. You know how they take the fish out and they put it in a gurney or something, and when they have to transport them and they got the water hose out and they spraying the fish down. I never seen these fish act like this. Like they act like they was at home. They said, okay, cool, man. I was breathing a little heavy. I'm glad you give me some water and shit, man. I'm glad. Salute to you, man. I appreciate that, man. You A1 with me. You know what I'm saying? You A1. But this particular fish, I've never seen a shark like this before. This shark act like he wasn't used to simple water, man. He wasn't used to water. And I'm saying, how can you at your age not be acclimated to water and you consider yourself to be a shark? You consider yourself to be a shark, the big fish. You know what I said next, right? I said, I need motherfucking answers, bro. This is false advertisement. I'm feeling some type of way, god damn it. Because I had to use some brain cells once again to try to figure this shit out. I'm looking at the video. I said, no. This deception at its finest right here. I started to look to the goddamn directory. I'm trying to find phone numbers and shit. I was Errol Spence, HR, publicist, PR. I'm trying to call some people and ask some questions. I want answers, god damn it. If I took the time out, I want some motherfucking answers, bro. And when I seen this shark get that sprinkle of water and his head was in the air like that, I was like, oh, damn. His fans have been deceived once again, because you was up here wearing the merch, but yet the person that's supposed to be the big fish, they are land species. And if he's a land species, that means he can't be a shark. If he's afraid, timid of being around water, how can you be the big fish? How can you be Moby Dick as much as Moby Dick jumped his big ass out that motherfucking and into the water and jumped it out? How can you be Moby Dick, bro? I'm not getting all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting all this pseudology. You know what pseudology is, right? False speech. I'm not getting all this big fish shit. I feel deceived because I was actually paying attention to it. I was paying attention to the big fish shit, and I said, okay, all right, you know, walking through the hallway, all right, I gave my response to that, and then, you know, he said, no, these shirts are coming down. He came back with the other one, you know. I gave my breakdown of that shirt, like, hey, you know, it's not too often you see a fish smoking bud and survive, but hey, what do I know? God damn it, you know, that's what they put on the shirt, so be it. So I always felt the need that it was going to come a point in time where I could separate the shirt from reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can separate the shirt from the reality. And this video right here separate the shirt from reality. The reality is, first of all, a lot of things that's going on with the smoking bud, it wouldn't happen. And then all of a sudden, we found out the actual big fish himself is not so much a big fish. You know what I'm saying? No, he's a land species. He is not a fish that enjoys the water. And to all his fans, I just want you to take this and do whatever you like with it. I know some of you all are scratching, and some of you have put on your helmets and you're banging your head up against the brick wall. I get it. You're frustrated like I was, but more so you're frustrated because you're actually fans. You know what I'm saying? You actually, I get it, bro. It's not personal with me. I get it. But if you're going to use your helmet, make sure you put your mouthpiece in, because I know the L-sexuals have a problem with their mouthpiece coming out and going and looking for it in traffic for the wrong fucking reason. Put your mouthpiece in, okay? I know it's going to be tough for you all to get through this week, but let's take one more gander at this before we move on to the next piece of media that I'm trying to figure out. Okay, pay close attention. If you choose to swim and see this particular shark next to the water, you're good to go. Don't worry about anything. It's harmless. It doesn't like water like all the other sharks. Let me get to the chat right quick. Shout out to Big Blumps and Boxing on deck, man. Shout out to Shelton Moore. What's up, WCS? Aren't you reaching a little bit? Not at all, bro. What is the definition of reaching? What do you mean? Are you saying that in terms of not physically reaching, but making a point reaching? A summary reaching? Well, what am I reaching about? You know what I'm saying? What am I reaching? Shout out to the apostles on deck. What's good? Look, if anybody on here talking about, I'm talking real reckless about a big fish analogy, then you're in the wrong spot. I'm talking about the surface information that I have. The big fish analogy with him refusing to immerse himself in a small volume of water, but yet his moniker is the big fish. How am I talking reckless? Tell me that. Tell me how I'm talking reckless. And look, y'all shouldn't be even over here nowhere close to my freaking chat. You know what I'm saying? When you have all these channels talking shit about Bud every day, Y'all should be over there trying to police that side of individuals that be talking personal and bringing his family into it and talking about how much people weigh, you know what I'm saying? And putting all that other damn insulting information. You shouldn't even be over here on my avenue. You know what I'm saying? I'm light. I just give you a part of my imagination that you might be like, interesting. Don't come over here with that reckless shit, bro, and try to make it like it's serious after all the shit that's being said about Crawford every single day. I don't see you over there policing they chat. Shout out to Tony Boswell. What's good? Much respect at WCS in the chat. Stopped in to show support. Much appreciated to you, brother. Shout out to ITC Boxing. You know what I'm saying? The apostles are in the building. What's good with you, bro? Appreciate that, ITZ. I try to. He said, one love to you, my God. WCS, your grind is real, fam. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. One love to you. True meters today. USA Boxing on deck. What's good there, coach? Salute to you for pulling up once again. Pocket Pete. See, he has humor. Are y'all going to say Pocket Pete? You going to say he talking reckless? You know, I would rather you all just understand that a lot of you all are getting mad because you taking sides. And just because I lay out some shit that's far-fetched, you know what I'm saying, and deals with just simple thinking. That's all. It's nothing. It's just vivid imagination. If you get over here and you feel some type of way about it, then you need to go explore the rest of social media. That's all I can tell you. Don't come over here with that bullshit with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it, man. Y'all not holding this dude accountable for nothing. I'm talking about public record. Y'all over here crying. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute to you, OG. How you feeling? He said, the hungry guppy. I just thought, the big fish should be more acclimated to domestic tap water. That's all. Don't be mad at all I'm doing is speaking about what I see out here that's accessible to me. What I do with the content, and people send me things and stuff. Well, it's out here. Look, when people collect content and disseminate it out to certain people, that's what it's supposed to be made for. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do with it. Hang around, though. For those of you talking, hang around for the second half. Hang around for the second half, shawty. It's public record, too. Hang around for the second half. What I say, waist deep like a little mermaid. You know what I'm saying, dog? What type of shark to have that much time? The food is out there for you, bro. But you don't want to get in the water where the food is at. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get in the water where the food is at. You know what I'm saying? You want to take us through this scenario. Oh man, I'm going to the beach. Oh, it's a very beautiful day. The sun is out. And I come up on this freaking fish that was beached, stranded. And I squatted down. It wasn't a big fella. I said, hey, buddy, how you doing? And it looked up at me, and the eyes was all red. It seems like it was dehydrated. He said, all I want is some Fiji. Is that Fiji water? I said, yeah, it is. It cost me a pretty good penny, too. Can I just have a little bit? And can you grab my tail and put me back close to the water because the tide's going to be coming in? I know, buddy, I can't do that. You have to wait till one of your supporters come up here. I can't put you back in there. I don't want them coming up here talking about, hey, man, we seen you over there. You was being reckless with that shark. You could have very well helped the shark out. He was a brother like you. You could have very well helped him out. And then you had a fresh bottle of Fiji water, and you refused to just pour some Fiji water on. I said, no, I couldn't just throw away my water now. I had to hydrate myself. I'm in my element. But he was out of his element. I don't know how he got up here, But I couldn't do it. I was waiting for one of his supporters with a shirt on to come up here and goddamn pour some water on him and take him back to the water. You know what I'm saying? Take him back to the shoreline. So when the tide go in, he's able to swim back out there. Don't blame me for shit. They act like I gave you a scenario like that. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Now imagine if he would have jumped in that motherfucker with a cold stare and no hesitation. That shit would have been some savage ass shit. He looked like he wasn't built for the water. Dude, I can go 1,000 ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it light because people don't understand, you know what I'm saying, the art of storytelling. They come over here and want to say, oh man, no. You got motherfuckers out here that's really vicious and mad and mean and malicious about that shit. And they get personal. Me, I just tell a motherfucking story. How can you come up here and feel some type of way about a nigga telling a story? Get the fuck out of here. Obviously, you sat and listened to it. This motherfucking public record. I don't get how a shark gets sprinkles of water on his back and it's like, oh shit. I mean, come on, bro. No, you're a shark, bro. You are a shark. Maybe someone should have branded the shark because listen, for those of you tune in, I did figure it out though. I did figure it out. This not a normal shark that was born in the water. This was a laboratory shark. The reason why I say it was a laboratory shark because when the shirt came out, the shark was in the motherfucking building. It was out of water to begin with. It was out of water to begin with. I was walking down the hallway. Kel Brook, Sean Porter, Dennis Ugas, and then the fourth door is supposed to be the WBO title. So that I explained that shit to y'all before. The shark was walking up the hallway. I said, damn, that's a special ass shark. That's a laboratory raised shark right there. That's a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? It's able to walk out in a dry environment for long periods of time without being submerged in water. That's a hell of a motherfucking creation, ain't it? But the one thing that stumped me though was the fact that this shark was no bigger than a doorway. You know what I'm saying? It was no bigger than a domestic doorway. I said, okay. And then I seen the shark submerged in like a half a foot of water, and it act like it was uncomfortable, like it's never been subjected to that shit. I'm just gonna leave that shit like that, man. I'm taken back by this. Real talk. Real talk. I might have to donate some money to research and try to find out how they can do a better job with these laboratory hybrids and get them used to acclimating with water. Real talk. This is unheard of. A shark that's afraid of water. I get it, bro. WJ Lucky, what's good? Big Blunts and Boxing with the 39 days and 23 hours. Damn, we in the 30s already. We started this out, it was in the 60s. Now we in the 30s. 39 days and 23 hours, people. Salute. Salute to that. Let's get to the second half of the video. I mean, the live stream. This is a video of Errol Spence pretty much contradicting himself. All right. It's been public record once again that he has been speaking more so. He has to. Now that the fight is made, he's been speaking publicly about his accident. Now, people can come over here and feel some type of way about me, you know what I'm saying, and what I talk about and how I speak on it. But yet they're allowing these people on mainstream media to play around with such a horrific situation. Gilly even said your car was doing gymnastics. See, if I would have said it, we would have had little soft-hearted motherfuckers over here tomorrow. Oh, you just being a little bit, man, that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? You have people asking him questions about his accident. But take a gander, once again, at this clip right here, okay? Take a gander, please. I appreciate it. So, We'll talk about it afterwards.
Basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I just felt like, that was my warning, and I took heed to it, and I think it changed. That accident really was God basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I just felt like, that was my warning, and I took heed to it, and I think it changed my life.
Here, back in 2019, that car accident, a lot of people saw that. Man, what was it like just coming back to boxing after that?
It changed my life. It made me realize being young, you think you indestructible. At that time, I thought I was indestructible. Man, like nothing. I thought nothing could really stop me. Like I was just, I really stopped doing what I thought. What got me to that point.
Yeah.
I kind of drifted, so to say. I kind of drifted off to the side. And I feel like that accident really was God basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I feel like that car crash was basically a blessing. Could have really got my head straight, got me right, and because at that time I was hanging out, drinking, partying, just doing whatever. So I feel like at that time God knocked on me and just told me, man, straighten up. You're doing the wrong thing. Like the Bible say, warning come before destruction. So I just felt like, that was my warning. And, I took heed to it. And, I think it changed my life.
Even after my wreck, I was still going to the club.
Y'all mad at that? What did he say at the end? He said even after his accident, he was still going to the club, right? Now, as black people, right? I don't want to see y'all coming over in the chat, dropping me DMs when you have so many people talking about these interviews. Just because you're isolated to one form of social media doesn't mean you have to hang out here and try to browbeat individuals that speak on it. This was a clear sign of contradiction. You know what I'm saying? You can get on here and talk about religion all day long. I get it, man. You're trying to come off and basically present yourself to the public or bring on new fans who didn't know EJ. I get it, man. I ain't against none of that shit. But when it comes down to all the lies that's been spread about Bud Crawford, right? Y'all act like nobody's supposed to come to the defense and clear that up. But yet, y'all will sit up here and ignore public information that's out, just like you just heard of his accident, and pay attention to all these interviews. I listen to these interviews over and over again, and in the process, take down copious notes because things ain't adding up. Like you said, change your life. And that was a sign from God and all that. But yet, when you did the podcast with On the Rocks, you said, attaching it with like you thought you was invincible. You did release that tweet. It came from your account. No broken bones. I'm a savage. So it's all good to be an adrenaline junkie, but you have to look at it this way too. People who do adrenaline type things, they more so are characterized as people who do extreme, sports or activities that can be dangerous to them. Alcohol is not something that is considered an extreme sport in reality of it. That's not what I gather from, adrenaline junkies. Alcohol and stuff may be a part of some of these people that's extreme adrenaline junkies and go out here and do things like that. But you said, after the accident, you was back in the club. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you said it yourself. You said you was back in the club, but yet you're going in front of these shows now, and you're saying that it was a call from God, and you might have got a sign from God, or that you thought it was a sign from God. You might have thought it was, But in reality, were you in a clear mind? Were you clear? Was your mind clear when you talking about you thought it was a sign from God? Because checking yourself out the hospital, going to still you stay, get back to rehab and all that. You did your own self rehab with whoever you had help you out, and you said family was there with you, and that's what my only concern. Like real talk, like your family is everything. That's the way I look at it. But at the end of the day, right? I'm thinking about this like you was doing this type of behavior way before you had the crash. It played out public record for those of you that's in my chat and feel some type of way. He was publicly intoxicated when he stepped in the ring with Sean Porter after winning the WBC vacant title. Okay. He was intoxicated several other times that was shown in front of the camera when he said he started boxing in 2015. Yes, that was public record. There's plenty of times when Nate Jones put that shit out, people was then giving him backlash because Spence himself never really spoke about it. It didn't come to the surface until he had the accident and he played it out to a DWI. That's another public incident that you can't be mad at anybody who speak on it. Now, the only reason somebody can get mad if you up here wishing bad upon them so they won't go to the ring and fight on July 29th. If you're wishing they no longer living, that's being personal. But don't come over here, with the bitch assness. And just because, somebody's speaking about it and y'all refuse to speak on anything he does, you don't hold him accountable for anything. But y'all busy curious and critiquing every word that Crawford says, man. You know what I'm saying? This man is speaking English. That's not the right context. That's not the right context right there. Y'all sit up here and talk about the man using flashcards and everything he says is not right. He's lying. I mean, Spencer's lying too. He's been hypocritical when you go on the shows and say it was calling for God and all this other stuff. But yet and still, one of the first podcasts you came on was on the rocks, with your girl. And you said, after the accident, you were still going out to the club. That's a fact. That's what the video is about. Let's listen to the video one more time, just to be clear.
Basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I just felt like that was my warning, and I took heed to it, and I think it changed. That accident really was God basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I just felt like that was my warning, and I took heed to it. And, I think it changed my life.
Here, back in 2019, that car accident, a lot of people saw that. Man, what was it like just coming back to boxing after that?
It changed my life. It made me realize being young, you think you indestructible. At that time, I thought I was indestructible. Man, like nothing. I thought nothing could really stop me. Like I was just, I really stopped doing what I thought what got me to that point.
Yeah.
I kind of drifted, so to say. I kind of drifted off to the side. And I feel like that accident really was God basically knocking on my door, telling me to get back on the right track. You losing it. So I feel like that car crash was basically a blessing. It really got my head straight, got me right, and because at that time I was hanging out, drinking, partying, just doing whatever, So I feel like at that time God knocked on me and just told me, man, straighten up. You're doing the wrong thing. Like the Bible say, warning come before destruction. So I just felt like, that was my warning, and I took heed to it, and I think it changed my life.
Shoot, even after my wreck, I was still going to the club.
I mean, he said that I didn't. He said even after the wreck, I was still going to the club, and he laughed about it. Big Blunt say, LOL, come to think about it. When we saw Arrow at the beach, he was in the sand with his girl. When we saw Bud, he was out of there ocean talking about, I don't see no big fish out here. You're absolutely right. That's true words, man. That's true words like a motherfucker. That, he was running in the sand after stuff started to hurt. Okay. He was running in the sand after stuff started to hurt. And people's like, okay, you say you weren't going to be back in the ring to April, May, June because stuff started to hurt, but that's a whole nother live. Jonathan J, what's good? People really to stick to who they are going for. I mean, my goodness, who are you going for? Because it's all Terrence Crawford for me. And you make the right choice, man. It's all good. Like, I'm not swaying. I tell people all the time, we have membership packets waiting on you. You can come on over to, Team Crawford. It's banter at the end of the day. I don't want nobody over on Team Crawford that's not really all about supporting the brother. You know what I'm saying? We don't need any double agents. You know what I'm saying? We don't need any of that. If you're going to support the man, support the man. This is history. This is going down in the boxing annals, people. This is history. Don't y'all want to be able to tell whoever? I ain't talking about no kids, man. I'm talking about people that's old enough to understand how seriously you support the sport of boxing. Don't you want to tell them, hey, man, I was there when that fight happened. That shit was epic, man. I was there before. I was there all the years leading up to that. And we used to be on YouTube talking about this shit over and over and over again. Just like Deontay Wilder when him and Fury fight happened. And everybody was talking about it. Wilder. He was the biggest topic on this mug. The biggest topic, bro. Nobody can deny it. The biggest topic on YouTube, whether it be good or bad, his name was it in the heavyweight division. Now, for quite some time, Crawford name has been one of the biggest names on here. When Tank had that fight coming up with Garcia, people was talking about it. But I'm gonna tell you, not like Crawford Spence, man. A lot of people are talking about Crawford Spence. I'll never try to dissuade anybody to say, well, you over there. No, I refer to them as aerosexuals. I say what I say about them, but the shit ain't malicious. I can give a fuck what they think. Because I think the one who had a smear campaign of personal shit ran on him, that was real shit. This is real life. You had people, primary intention was to put out false information about this guy. So much to the point where, he had to respond to two of these people. So if it was that bad for him, Crawford, to respond, then obviously it was severe enough and rubbed in the wrong way that he had to give them his response, his reply. I ain't had nobody respond to me. I ain't never had no boxer respond to me about anything. In a way that I'm out here putting out information that's totally, rubbing them the wrong way. And it's the worst out of all the worst. It's the most severe, the most abrasive. No, that shit ain't popping. But anyway, back to this shit, right? D-Ray Promotions, what's good? Pop a lot of smoke, what's good? Juice Lee on deck, what's good with y'all? This man has been going around, in the media corral and talking about, certain things. And of course, this was on Big Boy. I grew up watching, I followed Big Boy for a long time, but they did a solid one with this interview. It was nothing like what we saw off the other one yesterday, but this was a solid interview. And regardless of what Errol Spence said, he put it out there. It was a calling from God. He's gonna have to live up to that, because I put it out there before, being someone who was deep into motorcycles. I put it out there. He may joke around and say he lost teeth, right? He lost several teeth. He jokes around with it. He lost teeth and, this, that, and the other. But you're talking about no helmet, no type of headgear, no protective equipment, and to hit the pavement. I always think about, I say, well, I hope the brother is all the way healthy and remains that way, because just because things ain't going on right now, if you continue to box, the only bad thing about boxing is that your head is a target. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get opponents that's just gonna hit you from the neck to the waist to the belt line. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna go for the head. And I'll tell anybody, I've seen a lot of people pass away from bikes with helmets on. So I can only imagine him being ejected from a sports car, high speed, and hitting the pavement, knocking his teeth out as if nothing else happened. Bro, listen. All you gotta do is look at his interviews and see that he ain't the same person he was before he fought Sean Porter. You know, though he was on here, you know, responsive to these questions. Yeah, I mean, his behavior was much different than what it was on the rocks. I'm just being honest with you. You know, he might have got some brain food, and they gave him some something with energy, so he can be pep. You know, be able to respond to these questions. But at the end of the day, I'm not so sure if you are still living on the edge, because just at the press conference, you said you always been the type to you know, to be out of bounds or out of whatever, however he phrased it. He let people know I always been like that my whole life. So he's embracing him jumping out of line and doing things that's not right. I mean, I ain't judging him. I ain't judging him. I ain't judging the brother. You know, he do what he do, bro. Like, you, at the end of the day, you got to think about the people it's going to affect due to your actions. You have to think about the ones who will affect you going out here doing reckless, you know, extreme type of actions that could affect you long term in a sport that's making you money. I mean, not just any money, but millions. You're able to live a different lifestyle than a lot of us here that speak on you on a daily basis, brother. So my whole point, I just wanted to speak on the hypocrisy of it. I thought it was pretty hypocritical on him talking about I was a calling for God. People speak on religion all the time. It's okay. But when you have a situation that was caused by your own doing, right? And you act like it was all cleared up because it was a calm before the storm, or whatever the case may be. If you acting like you've cleaned everything up, then it should be no other news coming out that you still may be potentially doing, you know, have been doing the same thing after the accident, because the fight was just announced. That's all I'm saying. The fight was just announced not too long ago. All this time, we've been wondering. A lot of questions have been answered on who was making the fight. And it's been several times where you try to put it out there as if you stayed out of the ring for a year to placate Crawford, you know what I'm saying, to make the fight with Crawford, when you've been on record several times talking about low percentages for Crawford. So whoever on that side of the house didn't want the fight, you was backed into a corner where you had to make the fight. And being that Crawford fought Avanesian, it's funny how the 35 that was before Avanesian isn't the 35 that y'all was talking about on the phone. That's real life. That 35% came up. And I know them aerosexuals are peeved. They are peeved that they can't damn throw no percentages out there. Somebody asked that question at the presser, and they said, if you haven't heard anything about it in public, the fuck you asking me for? I'm not gonna tell you no percentages so you can go back and talk about it. I totally respect the fact that Crawford and Spence was able to keep this information out after they endured, especially Bud, after what he endured in 2022, going over there after leaving Top Rank You know what I'm saying? Going over there, attempting to negotiate and do everything possibly, exhausting every measure to make this fight happen, bro. And the shit didn't happen. It was out of his hands. He couldn't do anything about it. Then on the record, it's saying the very next month after his fight, he contacted Spence to make this fight. When all those tweets was going out talking about spin the block and all that shit, he had called the man up. You know what I'm saying? He called the man up to try to work this shit out, to try to get it going, to get the ball rolling. You got to give credit to Crawford for taking the initiative to get this ball rolling and make this fight happen, man. You have to. All this, and information Spence talking about, you had to give Crawford the concessions and all that. You're making it seem like you had no other choice, bro. And Spence, if that's the message that you're trying to pass, right? A nigga like me is gonna sit back and say, well, let me shake up some analytics again. It's certain things I don't understand about this shit. If Crawford is the B-side, why in the hell is he able to convince you or influence you to give him anything? I'm just going off your words. I wasn't there. But I'm just looking at it like, dude, if you all the A-side and you the big fish and you all the heavy lifting as your people said, well, you need to get with your people and trying to explain to them why you was making these concessions to appease Bud Crawford. If he's the guy who hasn't did anything and he's the B-side and everybody on this resume doesn't add up to be in this position, no one can quite figure out how he became WBO champion. They're not sure if Jeff Horn truly beat Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter, was already in retirement. Kell Brook, he was drained, dehydrated. He had hyponatremia. He was low on salt. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of medical issues going on with Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't right. Jose Benavidez had one leg. Igis Kavalauskas was nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who freaking David Avanesian was, but yet he was ranked 6th in the ranking system. I know. I mean, just all this back and forth about who Crawford fought and how he made him look. The back and forth shit. So you ask yourself, right? Why are you so interested in this fight if it's a lopsided fight? The fact is, it's not a lopsided fight. You can't sit up here and basically come up with any type of evidence to prove that Crawford is unqualified to be in this position outside of his belt. If he's unqualified, then someone before now should have did what he was able to accomplish in the welterweight division. First of all, Jeff Horn should have been able to, and still, he should have been able to successfully defend his belt because he was a reigning defending welterweight world champion when Crawford moved up to face him as the challenger. So Jeff Horn could have took care of Crawford because he ain't shit. He don't have no skills. He's small. He can't do shit, right? That's what y'all say, right? So Jeff Horn should have beat his ass. Nah, that didn't happen. Jose Benavidez, right? One of the youngest. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know his amateur accolades. You know when he turned professional. Dude can box. He was undefeated when Crawford beat him. Y'all talk about Igis Kavalauskas all the time. How he hurt Crawford. He knocked him down and everything. But y'all refuse to cross over and provide the conclusion as to what happened in that fight. He stopped him. He stopped the man, bro. I hearing all this information that's coming out, and people think I get upset about this shit. I'm not, bro. I'm just looking and I'm retaining, I'm archiving, cataloging. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing, goddammit. I'm just taking this information and just basically documenting so I can speak on it. That's all. It's you all who every time you crack your lips open You got something to say about Bud, and you act like he's unqualified. But that's been in dispute for quite some time, and the shit has been resolved already. This shit has been resolved. The Bednarz is favoring Crawford. He has one belt, but yet you have two people on the podcast talking about how's Bud in front of him on the pound for pound. It's too many areas that's in favor of Bud Crawford for the aerosexuals not to understand what they've been saying for quite some time. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Because you can't sit up and convince nobody that all the negative shit you say about this man, he ain't advanced in his career. He ain't been out here doing what he's supposed to do. How you gonna come up to the welterweight division and say all his opponents was Gardners? All of them. And these was a lot of these guys was undefeated, bro. Jeff Horn was 18-0, had a Pacquiao on his record, but it gets no credit. But yet the same Pacquiao later on went up there and defeated the former unified champion in welterweight, and Pacquiao's in his 40s, but yet Bud don't get any credit for Jeff Horn beating. Bud don't get any credit for Jeff Horn defeating Pacquiao. So he, once again, you diminish Jeff Horn, who beat Pacquiao, who later went on to fight Keith Thurman, and then you all was up here crying and goddamn queefing, blowing out hot fucking air, talking about, well, to be honest, Kell Brook, he wasn't this, that, and the other. Kell Brook was in way better health when he fought freaking Crawford than he was when he fought Spence. That's a fact. And then you talk about, Sean Porter of all people. They believe that Sean Porter was going to go there and be the one and only equalizer. He was going to go in there and fight Bud Crawford like he fought Spence. But one thing they overlook is that Spence tried to prove to the people that he can beat Sean Porter at his own game. He chose to fight that style, which was very similar to his style. So it's not like he did anything abnormal. He chose to sit down and fight mano a mano, brawl for brawl, punch for punch. That's what he did. But as we all know, Crawford's, boxing IQ is way better than, is higher than Sean Porter and higher than Errol Spence. And he went in there and fought that man the way he did. And until he was told that he was behind on the scorecards unofficially, and he closed the show. But yet they say Sean Porter was in retirement. But yet the commentators was ranting and raving about how good Sean Porter looked, and Bud might be behind on the scorecards and all this other shit. And then he stops him. Oh, it's all about retirement. It's all about Kenny Porter stopping the fight. Get the fuck out of here, dog. It's just hilarious every time I talk about it. It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious, man. But the good thing about it, the fight date is scheduled. This motherfucker is scheduled, bro. The fight date is on deck. The fight date is on motherfucking deck, shawty. Y'all, look, on the night of the 29th, if you want to bring your dumb ass back on here and talk about old shit after we have the results from this fight, 2-time undisputed, when we have the results and y'all want to talk about David Abenesian, and go ahead, dumbass. Go right ahead and talk about what happened back in 2022. Oh, and matter of fact, go all the way back 2019, goddammit. They're gonna do that shit. Well, truth be told, I ain't making no excuses, but I was thinking about this shit leading up to the fight. First of all, I didn't think the fight was gonna happen, but as I seen Errol in the first 3 to 4 rounds, it just seemed like he wasn't himself, man. It just seems like the accident. It just seems like he wasn't himself that we seen in Yordenis Ugas. I'll be like in the chat. Well, we try to explain to your dumb ass that Yordenis Ugas is not Terrence Crawford. Oh, I know that. I know he wasn't Terrence Crawford, but I didn't see Terrence Crawford being that much better than Denis Ugas. Okay, dumbass, that's where we at then. Y'all don't think he was qualified, and with all the stoppages at welterweight and what he's been able to accomplish in his career, he's still unqualified, right? I'm just saying it was hard for me to get on board and be a firm supporter of Crawford. You know, he ain't fought nobody. Okay. Hi, Shotty. Okay. So it's 2 greater than 1. See, there you go again. You're talking about the 2. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, nigga. I don't give a fuck about him coming undisputed, nigga. Hey, it's 2 greater than 1, nigga. Let's do some math right quick, nigga. Sit your punk ass in that desk. Let me grab a piece of chalk and an eraser. We're gonna do some motherfucking basic math. If I put the greater than sign and put 1 and draw the greater sign 2, which one is greater than the other? In this particular scenario, is there one fighter who won tonight that has more accolades than the other? That requires a yes or no, please, sir. No answer? Okay, if you're not willing to answer that, then you're just not refusing to be educated. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be the aerosexuals out here on the night of the 29th saying, you know what? He was never healthy after that accident. You know, he just wasn't the same, man. I've seen signs of it with Ugas, but I just didn't want to accept it. Well, y'all sitting up here still talking shit, though. Y'all was saying he's a world beater. He was the eye collector. He turned from being the eye collector to the light collector. Because when you land on your back, you're able to soak in all the rays. For real. While the referee is serenading. 4, 5, 6, 7. If Jack Reese is in there, 13, 17 and a half. Get up, Spence. 25, 26 and 3/4. Time. Hey, Crawford, go to the neutral corner, man. What are you doing? Damn. I told you to go to the neutral corner. They start arguing with Crawford. Go to the neutral corner. Timekeeper, where am I at? You're on 33, Jack. Okay. 2, 4. Hey, they tap it on the ring apron. Hey, Jack, shut it down, man. It's too far. The cameras are catching on to this. The cameras are on. Hey, bro, don't do it to yourself. Don't give the long count again now. You know what I'm saying? Count that man out. Obviously, his eyes is closed and he's goddamn snoring, bro. And get the EMT in here and get this shit the way it's supposed to, man. You're doing too much. No. For the spirit of the sport, one of his legs is up. That means mechanically he's able to function. He's still coherent. One of his legs are up. 53. Terrence, if you move out of the corner again, I'm deducting a point. Well, goddamn, ref, you know, shit. You on 60 right now, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? How long you gonna stop this motherfucker? And you know what I'm saying? You trying to rob me and shit? Time. Come here. I told you. For what? Come here for what? 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. I'm telling you, boy. I swear to God, they're all gonna be trying to goddamn come up with some shit. They're gonna try to reprimand Crawford. He said, I was over there in the neutral corner. No, you wasn't. Your heels wasn't together. You wasn't standing in that position of attention like you're supposed to, right? Your heels wasn't together and your feet wasn't at a 45-degree angle, goddamn it. 2 points. Okay, 2 points. Deduct 2 points. 2 points. Now go over there to the neutral corner. Heels together, thumbs on trouser seam, chest out, head and eye straight to the front, and mouth is shut. Okay. Timekeeper, where am I at? Oh, Jack, you're on 80. You're on 89 and a half right now. Okay. 1. Oh my God, man. Let me get back to the chat, dog. You know, people are feeling some type of way, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Rice Eater, 79, with the $5 super chat on deck. The first one of the night. I appreciate you, brother. One love. Let me read this chat. Let's be honest. This Spence first time challenging an undefeated champion ever. Fighting and defeating undefeated champs is routine for Bud. See, let's clap it up for him. Obviously, this guy received his boxing graduate degree, and his educational IQ was in the top 3% of his class. Obviously, with the comment that he put up here, because he's absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? He's absolutely right, because when he fought Kell Brook was undefeated. Look, this. I've been around these waterways for a long fucking time, right? So what they'll say is, Kell Brook, he was undefeated at the welterweight division, but he was coming off a loss. And we all know, regardless of what division you was in, if you took an L, you took an L. Unless you Lomachenko, where they try to sponge it and make it look like you're undefeated. But yeah, that's pretty much what they were saying. Kell Brook was undefeated at welterweight, dog. But what did his right side of his boxing ledgers? No, we ain't talking about that. You actually look. This actually was part of the debate one time. They were saying that Kell Brook was undefeated at welterweight, and then you go to Sean Porter. Sean Porter had lost. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. He had more than one loss too. And then your Dina Zugas, man. Just pick either hand. You'll be right in the ballpark. Just pick your left hand or your right hand, and then you'll be right in the ballpark. How many losses he had when he was going in there to fight Spence? So this guy said right here, man, absolutely hit the target on point. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the areas of debate that is legitimate, certified, official, authenticated. That Bud has taken the O's and he has fought champions. You know what I'm saying? He has fought champions. Even them bringing up Jokic Gamboa. You know what I'm saying? The infamous Gamboa. He fought that man in his backyard. The man had an O on his record. Him and Crawford had the same record. Why they don't give that man his credit, I don't know. But every time Crawford name comes up and Gamboa is mentioned, all they remember is when Gamboa landed the shot that hurt Crawford. They don't talk about the end result. Come on now. They don't want to talk about the end result. They just want to talk about Gamboa hurting him. That's how delusional them aerosexuals are. They are selective amnesia affiliates. They would sit up there and no shit took place. Nah, we ain't gonna talk about that. We just gonna talk about, the narratives that we're trying to push and the propaganda we're trying to get people to believe. That's all we're here for. That's all. Appreciate that super chat, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Much appreciated. And it makes all the sense in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time. Look, the first time Spence is challenging an undefeated in all motherfucking caps. An undefeated, shouty. Undefeated. And not just undefeated, but this particular fighter stands in front, not on the side and not behind. He stands in front of him on every pound for pound list that is accessible to anyone searching for that information. He's been there for quite some time. So therefore, it's really nothing to be talking about except old shit. They love talking about David Avanesian. Well, continue to talk about that shit. Go ahead. But the point remains, this comment on the replay is gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way because it's absolutely facts with a Z. You know what I'm saying? It's facts with a Z, bro. The last letter of the alphabet is Fax with a Z. You know what I'm saying? Period. Cam said this fight can go to the judges. Bud is already down 3 rounds on the judge's card before the first bell even rang. They're gonna try to pull that Canelo Bivol shit, but we know this to be true, Cam. We always got to keep this front and center that he is stopped everybody in the welterweight division. And though people are going to say that no one of them opponents that he stopped in the welterweight division is that of Errol Spence Jr., which is true. None of them are Errol Spence Jr., but yet he does have common opponents. Errol Spence would be no different. He would be no different because the one that's really was his toughest, he said Kell Brook because he just don't want to get Sean Porter credit as being the toughest. We see the play. If he gives Sean Porter credit, he has to get Crawford credit. He get Kell Brook credit because he's all the way across the pond. You know what I'm saying? He's all the way across the pond. Kell Brook was the one who took Sean Porter's belt. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook was the one who took Sean Porter's belt. And then Terrence Crawford came and took his freaking freedom in 4 rounds. But they don't really want to talk about that. At the end of the day, Sean Porter gave you such a freaking tough fight that you barely came up out of there with a split decision win. Barely. But you don't want to give Sean Porter the credit because you don't want to make it seem like, well, Sean Porter was tougher than what he was. And then, you know, the way Crawford did him and the first man to stop him. You know what I'm saying? A fighter still holds, a FICO. You know what I'm saying? That FICO score, that higher than average FICO score if they never been stopped before. Seriously. They still have that little bragging rights if nobody's never stopped them. And that's what Sean Porter had. He had, several losses, but he ain't never been stopped until he stepped in there with Crawford. So they can say what they want to say. He can say Kell Brook was his toughest opponent. But you fought Kell Brook and Sean Porter the same fucking way, homie. Shout out to Rice Eater again, 79, with a $2 super chat. Much appreciated, brother. One love to you. It's funny because Amir Khan was undefeated welterweight too. See, the only Crawford can't get credit because Amir Khan on what he experienced early in his career. He can't get credit for Amir Khan in making him quit. I was at that fight. Amir Khan didn't even want to turn around and face Crawford because he was getting that ass beat. Amir Khan say, you already know where this is heading. Look, Amir Khan, he was very proactive in that fight. He didn't want to see what the experience is going to be. He said, I'm getting up out of here. Thank God you hit me on my thigh. Ooh. Amir Khan became more religiously invested after that fight. He said, thank you, Holy Jesus and all your angels. I totally appreciate it. In your name, amen. You know what I'm saying? Amir Khan was praying his ass off. He was happy that Crawford landed that shot low. He was happy as fuck, bro. He was looking for a way out. He just didn't want to just walk away like somebody can say, well, he had a mental breakdown like Oliver McCall. He didn't want people to say that. He didn't want to be Curtis Harris, if that's his name. He didn't want to be Curtis Harris. He didn't want to, when the bell ring, walk out and head back and shit like that. No, Amir Khan sat in there and was getting his ass beat and he quit. They're never going to give him credit for that shit, bro. Because they try to say, oh, Amir Khan was knocked out by this person. Prescott and Saul Canelo and everybody else. He didn't have a chin. But listen. Amir Khan can box. But this ain't about Amir Khan. But appreciate that $2 super chat, my brother. Appreciate you, bro. Don Vaughn on deck. What they do, big dog? Did anyone peep Errol said on $1 million worth of game? He said he was on a 1-year layoff when he fought Kale, but failed to mention Kale was damaged. He didn't mention too much about Kell Brook, period. You know what I'm saying? You know, when he was talking this shit, you know, in Cali, in Beverly Hills, he was saying you ain't fought nobody. I mean, I felt that was a little bit pretentious, and he was just putting on a facade. Like, you ain't fought nobody, man. Let's be honest, you ain't fought nobody. Well, guess what? If you're going in there trying to become undisputed and you about to fight somebody that ain't fought nobody, this should be easy work, because like I said plenty other times, and I'll continue to reiterate this. If you find a fighter that hasn't faced the quality of competition and you feel that you are him, you are fully developed, because your trainer, Derek James, said, what? You're a developed fighter. Crawford was a built fighter. You know what I'm saying? He said you went in the Danny Garcia fight at 40%, bro. This is your trainer, Spence. Your trainer said this shit. He said you was at 40%, and you kind of reiterated that, yeah, you know, I wasn't where I was supposed to, Danny Garcia, but I knew I was that guy. I can still be, not be 100% and go in there and freaking dog walking. And then that was followed up with, go ahead, Kane. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. If Crawford's a built fighter, he's just a fighter on paper. He has underwhelming freaking body of work. Then that means there's no way, shape, or form that his development or him being built, because they're the same word, was based off sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what was said? Like, it was just based off sparring partners. And every time his welterweight resume is mentioned, it's like he gets no freaking positive response. I'm talking about first responders. What is your first response when you hear Jose Benavidez? What's your first response? X Kavalauskas and everybody else. What are your first? It's always criticism. But let a debate come up. These niggas, they take flight and jump off cliffs and shit. They got their hands spread it wide. They got motherfucking what they call them, skydiver suits on, and they want to fly back in motherfucking time, yo. They go right back down to when he fought Gamboa. Whoo, that was a good flight. Longer than I thought, though. How many years was that? Yeah, it was about 8 or 9 years. Whoo, shit. Okay, let's go find Gamboa. I know they're around here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to go back to that fight right quick and get some pictures. I got to get some videos, screen record, something. I gotta, you know, they go all the way back to Gamboa. They try to say Gamboa didn't have a title in that division. They go back to where Gamboa used to fight, but they would not praise the shit out of Gamboa for who he was at the time Crawford fought him in his backyard. It seems like some biasness. You know what I'm saying? How can you big yourself up and taking this fight if y'all continue, if you just at the press conference talking about he ain't fought nobody? Maybe he just made them look like they was nobody. Shout out to RJJ, the legend himself. Maybe he just made them look like they was nobody. You feel me? Like, come on, how can you big yourself up? How can the aerosexuals big you up? And you about to go in there and fight somebody that you don't even give credit that has fought anybody worth relevance. Y'all need to think about that. Real talk. You need to think about that shit. How does it make sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. This fight shouldn't even be close. If the way y'all thinking that Bud ain't qualified, he ain't did enough, you know what I'm saying? He just holding the WBO title. Why in the hell nobody else took that title from him since he was built? And during the building phase, they made sure, you know, because they said Top Rank was good with matchmaking. Top Rank was perfect with matchmaking. So if Top Rank matched him up with mediocre opposition, somebody along the line should have been able to, that word, expose Bud Crawford for being a fragmented built fighter who ain't fought no competition. That somebody already should have took that title away from him. He shouldn't have had all stoppages. But appreciate that $2 super chat and the $5 super chat from Rice Either. Appreciate you, bro. Spence head looked like a potato after he fought Porter. Man. Yeah, I was at the VA earlier. Blunt sent me a text. I was at the VA, man. Wasn't able to goddamn get on the phone in the VA. They be tripping. Damn, so the Hall of Fame must be filled with a bunch of fighters who fought nobodies. I mean, you know, when you talk to them, they're gonna tell you everything about the Hall of Fame. But just throw Crawford's name up there? No. Hey. Me and my friends been talking about this for a long time. And Crawford, he just ain't it, man. He ain't the goods. He just ain't did enough to get in the Hall of Fame. That's what we look at it right there. I'm not being biased either. I like both of them fighters right there. But when it comes to Crawford and Spence, man, you know, he has a lot more better competition. I always say the same shit. Better competition. Well, what about him being undisputed? Undisputed against Julius and Dango? Who was he? I mean, come on already. I thought you was a hardcore boxing fan. You must be a casual. What? And Julius and Dango was undefeated, though. Who cares? Crawford did what he's supposed to do with Ndongo. What do you expect? That's what he did. He did what he's supposed to do. But he became undisputed when there wasn't really a long line of undisputed in the four-belt era. Who cares? Didn't you hear me say who cared a ways ago? Who gives a fuck? Is that better? Who gives a fuck about that? He ain't fought no competition. Nobody gives a fuck about Ricky Burns, okay? Nobody. But he's a multi-time champion. Did you hear me? You want me to go back and tell you again? Who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a flying fuck about that. So nobody he fought at welterweight. I'm talking about nobody. Name one fighter. Well, you know, he picked up a championship with Jeff Horn. Who the fuck is Jeff Horn, man? Who knew him before? Well, he fought Pacquiao. Who cares, man? Pacquiao's old and decrepit. Well, he dropped Keith Thurman in the first. That's because Keith Thurman was out in the casinos eating goddamn a chocolate covered sundaes and shit. If Keith Thurman was on his game and he was one time, no way Manny Pacquiao would have did it. They got an excuse for every opponent that he has stopped, dog. Look. It must be extremely difficult for Crawford to hear all this criticism from anybody and everybody who's dropping him shit in his DMs, the shit he see on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not from the popular town, you know, but yet he has been able to create greatness based off what God blessed him with, right? So it must be difficult to hear people out here trying to expunge what his accomplishments are. They're trying to give him the lowest value like it's a peso. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to give him peso value. You know what I'm saying? For real. Every time that Crawford's name come up when it's a boxing conversation, it's almost like it's an auction. You know what I'm saying? 1 peso, 1.5 peso, peso, 2 peso, 3. I got 3 pesos over here, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a 75, 3 and 3 quarters, 4 pesos over here. That's what it is, bro. It's almost like an auctioneer, dog. I swear, bro. Dude, it must be tough for him to hear this shit, bro. He's like, what the fuck they talk? No wonder Crawford don't want to fuck with the media. You know what I'm saying? They always say some dumb shit, dog. Damn. Look, I ain't gonna lie, man. Goddamn Crawford should be glowing when he go in that bitch. It should be like he goddamn drunk some nuclear shit before he hit the ring. He should come in that bitch glowing, man. He should look immortal with all the criticism he had to put up with leading up to this shit. Look, even when that man is out here saying positive stuff about Errol Spence and not even digging and putting dirt up on that motherfucker about why the fight took so long and trying to finger point shit. He's not even doing that. He's just saying, you know what? That don't matter. Both fight, that don't matter. So, they was cool until Errol Spence wanted to jump out and start saying, man, come on, man, you ain't fought nobody. Well, I guess you're not briefed properly, right? I would have said, okay, you fought some good names. Just look, he said the shit off camera with the individual meter scrum. He contradicted himself again because he gave credit to who Crawford fought. But when he was on stage, I guess it was all for show and hype. And he said, you ain't fought nobody. But yet, if he was smart, he should have said, you know what? You fought some quality opposition, but none of those opposition was me. I would have rather him said that shit instead of say he ain't fought nobody. When you continue to say a man ain't fought nobody, what does that say about you? What does that say about you taking the easy route based off a guy who had mediocre competition? How in the fuck did he have you taking the easy route? Why wasn't Crawford included in the easy route? Let's not say across the street and all this other shit. Like, if you really wanted to stop the press, you could have just said, I want to motherfucking fight him because he's up here. Everybody's talking. I want to get it out the way. But Crawford's name was never on the easy route, bro. So how can somebody that's a mediocre boxer, he was built up, subpar competition, be such a threat? I really hope that break him like Kunta Kinte, a slave comment by Spence, get back to Crawford, and that lights an extra fire under his ass, burying that arrogant kid on fight night. Well, look at it this way. I didn't grow up with him. I know Cam and them, shout out to the Apostles. I know they grew up over there in Omaha, right? They Omaha stomping ground, right? Listen, he doesn't seem like a guy who needs pepping up. I don't know, son. I just always go back to when Timothy Bradley was explaining when he met Crawford and how monotone he was, but come to find out he was a monotone killer. And they had him up there for whatever reason, get some sparring in, and Crawford went in there, was giving Devitt Storm all the dust devils that he wanted, God damn it. And he started making phone calls like, hey, this guy need to be in the ring. He need to be a fighter. He's damn good. He's damn good. Timothy Bradley tried to start, he was Cameron Duncan right there. Cameron Duncan like, for real? He's good. See, if Timothy was smart, he should say, hey, man, this guy is not going to be anything more than a sparring partner. Is he locked in with you in the contract? Whatever's left, I'll just pay it, man. I really want to use him over here as a sparring partner. We connected real good. And he should have finessed Cameron Duncan out the motherfucking deal, bro. But he went up there and told him, hey, man, this guy's good. You need to get him in the ring. He's going to be special. He's going to be a freaking future world champ. And the rest is what the fuck it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? The rest is what it is. Now, he has one of the biggest fights of his career, but it may not be the most difficult fight of his career. I'm just saying, this may not be the most difficult fight of his career. On paper and with the championship belts, yeah, it looks good as far as the hardware that Spence has, but this fight has been marinating for quite some time, and I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing that Crawford's gonna go in there, and it's not gonna take him a filling out process. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you go back to what Spence contradiction. He say, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna step. But then on a podcast, he said he think it's gonna be tactical. It's gonna be it's gonna be extremely tactical in the early rounds. Well, tactical doesn't mean just coming straight forward and bum rushing your opponent and trying to break him mentally, physically, and spiritually, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's only gonna get worse, man. You know, like this press tour is about to go. You know, it's over. Really, the press tour is over. I mean, as far as the interviews, they knocked all this out when they was in the area. So now it's just gonna be straight camp, just like Blunt's put out there. We had 39 days, right? So we in the 30s, and time is ticking, y'all. But I don't think this is gonna be his hardest fight. It may be biggest fight as far as money and stuff like that, but I don't think it's gonna be his hardest fight, man. I really hope he go out there and establish his jab. I do. I really hope he goes out there. You know, they say he got the best jab out there. I want him to present every aspect of his game that people praise all the time. I want Crawford to present every aspect of his game as I would like Errol Spence to do. I want them both to be 150% to go out there and compete in a gladiator sport. Even though I know once Crawford goes out here and knock this dude out, they're going to go right back to the accident. They're going to go right back to, you know, well, I kind of thought this shit was going to happen, but I was riding till the wheels fall off. And the wheels are definitely off this motherfucker. It's on the side of the road on bricks. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't gonna be on YouTube for a minute, man. I gotta let WCS cool off for a little. I don't want to hear that nigga say shit, bro. He talked too damn much as it is, bro. Let me get to the chat, man. Ricey the Buzz mom birthday on fight night. See, I don't even want to mention his mom, man, because you know I look at it like, damn, it just seems like with everything he got going on as far as proving, and you know that he's the best. You know what I'm saying? He speaks on it, but proving that he's the best, right? The fact that his mom's birthday is on that day, it just seems like, bro, come on now. You talking about your mom who show up to your fights all the time? Come on, man. That makes it even worse to know for people to think that he's gonna lose. It's not like his mom ain't been to his fight, like his mom ain't been in attendance. It's not like that, bro. You know, like this is her birthday, bro. I mean, come on, man. That man, bro, come on, man. Errol said he's a big fish because he's a box office leader. Homie line. Man, you are not a box office leader, bro. We all know Tank did the biggest numbers over there, you know, and you know, way more than what he ever did. So you can't take the bragging rights off of what Tank was able to do with Ryan Garcia, bro. I don't care what nobody say. You can't do it, bro. They degrade everything this man has done. It's crazy. Why? I don't get it, but I'm glad it's coming to an end. You know what I'm saying, Andrew? I'm glad this shit. Look, it's gonna come to a halt for a second. You know, he get this victory with all the thumbnails gonna be going up. Goddamn it, because I'm gonna be damn making some thumbnails too. Woo! You know, all the thumbnails is gonna be out there, bro. They're gonna do just like they did when they didn't hear any information about the negotiation. They was talking about basketball, bro. That's how much they neglect the fuck out of Spence. Like these cats was talking about basketball. These cats was talking about cricket. They was talking about whoopple ball. You know, they was talking about other sports until they was waiting for information to come back about this fight. They refused to talk about, you know, Errol Spence and everything. You know what I'm saying? Finally, he does a press conference and they try to big up his words. The same shit that's already been out here. It's nothing refreshing, nothing new. None of that shit, bro. That Tim Bradley story was dope. Hell yeah, it was, man. It was good to see him come on Coach's channel and talk his shit. You know, Timothy Bradley pulled up and told me, keep the name in your mouth. I thought that was some, you know, OG shit. You know what I'm saying? It's glad he doubled back and allowed, you know, Coach to interview him. You know, that's some good shit, bro. Real talk. That's some good shit right there. I've never been anti-Spence, but I'm damn sure been against his fans and the Crawford slander campaign. What a disgrace. Shit is coming to an end. I agree with you on that. They do take this shit personal, man. And I'm saying, Andrew, like, you're talking about the fighter that you support heavy, right? But you seem unhappy, bro. Like every time you get a Crawford supporter, you're so unhappy. Why are y'all so unhappy, man? Why are you so grumpy? If your fighter has did everything you expected in the sport of boxing, why are you so unhappy though? Why is Crawford fans allowing you to be angry when you should be talking about all the good shit Errol has done in his career? Why don't y'all niggas go back to the drawing board, come up with another goddamn catchy phrase? You know, heavy lifting has played out, okay? Come up with another catchy phrase and start talking about it all the time on lives. Get back into your happy place. That's what I want the aerosexuals do. Find your happy place, all right? And come up with a topic that makes you all grin and smile and try to focus on Errol Spence, bro. You know, stop talking about Bud all the time. Talking about what he said and didn't say. Y'all, a lot of you niggas act like groupies, man. Like, how would you be spending all this time talking about a fighter that you don't rock with? You willing to make money off his name, but yet you don't have nothing good to say about him. That's called desperation groupie shit. You'll make money, you get the super chats, you'll do live streams and all that off his name, but yet you don't have nothing positive to say about his resume. You want to say the same thing everybody else say. You want to say he ain't fought nobody, ain't did shit, never did, never will, and all that. But yet, the legends picking him to beat Spence. Hey, Spence can come up here and shock his doubters, his naysayers. It's up to him. It's just I don't see it. I don't see it with my eyes open, and I don't see it with my eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? My thought process is not even linked up that way. And people have gotten upset to my man, you ain't a true boxing fan because you don't see a way. Bro, I don't have to give here and give you a prediction on how the fight's going to go, and the fight hasn't happened. Just because you over here, look, they want to bring up all these technical terms about boxing, right? It's not that I don't know them. It's the point that I'm not going to sit up here and give you a movie script on how a scene is going to play out round for round. And we don't know how the fight's going to go. We don't know how the fight's going to go, man. They have to make it to the scales first, man. Real talk. It wouldn't be crazy if Bud stopped EJ with a little shot to the body. Will Bud be the body snatcher? Wouldn't there be crickets on the YTC? Will we have to make wellness calls on the YTC? We're definitely going to have to do some welfare checks. And like I told you before, I put this out there already, man. I already made phone calls to some unemployed life coaches and psychiatrists. I want them on call. I'm going to pay for all their tickets to go out to Vegas. Real talk, tomorrow. I'm gonna pay that shit, bro. I'm gonna make sure they are equipped with all the support they need after the fight. When they come out the arena, they can automatically get triaged. You know what I'm saying? If they dehydrated, we have freaking, IVs that we can set up and give them the minerals that they're looking for. Because a lot of them niggas gonna be crying and shit, and they're gonna be dehydrated. So I already done, got with the investors, and we're gonna have a triage set up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be outside the damn T-Mobile though. It's gonna be outside that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting some psychiatrists that lost their license, but they still, able to tell you what the fuck is wrong with you. Yeah. I'm gonna have a lot of them. It's gonna be enough, bro. For real. And we giving out sack lunches because a lot of you gonna be hungry because you spent all your money to go up there. And I'm giving out sack lunches. I'm donating and giving back to the community, bro. I'm taking you back to the old school when people used to do good for one another. It's gonna be a Capri Sun in that bitch, a goddamn bologna and damn cheese sandwich on white bread. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna put some Cracker Jacks in that motherfucker. For real, I'm gonna give you the old school: one Capri Sun, a bologna and cheese sandwich, and some Cracker Jacks, and maybe I'll put one Now Later in there. I'm gonna put one Now Later. Yes, sir. One Now Later. I'm gonna feed you. For real, I'm gonna feed you. And you're gonna get help. My subscribers bound to go up through the roof. Then I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna have somebody record that shit. I'm gonna say, hey, look at me. I'm on site at the T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? We have triage. We have a welfare committee, wellness committee out here to speak to every aerosexual that needs assistance. Okay? This is free of charge. Free of charge. If you need an IV, we can set you up with an IV, anything you need. But we just can't give you a ride home. We just can't do it. You're going to have to make your way home. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. I just think that's going to be it. That's the plan there, Simone. We're going to hook that shit up. We're going to get some unemployed life coaches and psychiatrists and some daycare workers, because you know how daycare workers, they're used to human beings crying all the time. So I'm gonna get some daycare workers on site to comfort. Okay, comfort. Give them some warm towels. You know what I'm saying? Yes, daycare workers is what we need on site too, bro. They need to have a hotline people can call after the fight to have them go. Yeah, hey, bro. You know, I'm not giving them a phone. I'm not giving them a phone line, bro. You know what I'm saying, Andrew? I can't do that. I can't. It's gonna be a time restraint that we have in that bitch, man. We can't give them a phone to goddamn call up. I lost everything, man. I lost everything. I lost everything. I can't get home. And we can't get them a phone line. That should be tragic. Real talk. They be on there crying, snot bubbles all on that motherfucker, dog. Come on, bro. No, man. They lost everything. These motherfuckers putting up their mortgages. Man, their car note. They done sold their car. Tell me, I'll be back. It's just a pawn. I'll be back. They pay it all off after this fight. I'm serious, man. No, we can't do that, man. We can't put no phone line up there, bro. You know what I'm saying? No, I can't get them a fish sandwich, right? The fish fry is in celebration of. The fish fry is for the Crawford supporters, Johnson. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fish fry is for. We're not giving the aerosexuals, fish in celebration. It was a fish fry all the way to the lead up. But we're not feeding them fish. It's for the Crawford supporters. You know what I'm saying? It's not for them. Hell no. They get a bologna sandwich, a Capri Sun, one Now Later, and, some Cracker Jacks or Boston baked beans. You know what I'm saying? Something. Some Bubblicious, one Bubblicious, something. Or, depending on how we feel, we might give them some damn 2 saltine crackers and shit. And a scoop of Nutella. Man, I've been on here too long, dog, for real. I've been on here too long. You know what I'm saying? Get them 2 saltine crackers and a motherfucking teaspoon of Nutella, dog. And don't even put the Nutella in a container, dog. Just dump it in the bag. Oh, my God, man. I'm glad I'm able to get some planning done, though. That sounds good, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to get with my people and go to Sam's and get them Capri Suns and ship them out there. For real. That's a plan. But y'all hold this shit down, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button on your way out, man. Sub to the channel if you ain't already did it. This is not the last time, but I must leave you with this photo so you can kind of understand the intense training that is going on with this with Crawford's opponent. You know what I'm saying? This is the intense training. You know, they're doing a vertical contortion, back-to-back stretch. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, let's be honest with ourselves. When you're facing somebody like Bud Crawford, you need to go through the extreme like this. You got to crack that spine and get it all nice and adjusted. If anybody has a picture that maybe that, you know, Bud is in the same position going through a stretch like this, let me know. I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you have to go through such extreme for a fighter who just has mediocre opposition? He's undeveloped. You know what I'm saying? He's undeveloped. So why all the extreme stretches like this, bro? What is this about? You're going in there against Bud Crawford. He's a built fighter. Matchmaking at top rank did him wonders. Why all the extreme stretches like this? I'm not gathering all this extreme activity for a person who is considered to be unqualified. Y'all feel me on that? He's unqualified, people. Well, what's with all the extreme stretching? What is this about? Aerosexuals, this is the question to you. What is this about? Like, why is this picture floating around? Why is this video out here of this guy, you know, doing a back-to-back vertical 3.0 contortionist back stretch on a unified heavy lifter? Why is this, man? What is this supposed to do? I'm trying to see how that's going to play out in the ring. Let me see. How can I say that? You know what I'm saying? How? It's taking me a little bit of time to assess this picture in detail. I'm just trying to find out how it would work, you know, going in there with Crawford. How would this stretch benefit? I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Toby, salute to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? We absolutely global. Toby Bartlett on deck. WCS in the chat. We're global, baby. We're global. No doubt. No doubt. For sure. L-Dog in the building. Champ Ross Fantasy Boxing Prediction League. What's good with it? What's up, WCS? What's up with it, brother? Salute to you. It's the one time for the one time, WCS. You know what I'm saying? One time for the one time, God damn it. It's one time for the one time. Real talk. But hey, if anybody can you know, frame Crawford in a similar stretch like this, then maybe I can put the two together, you know, on how this benefits. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how this is going to shed any more weight. Maybe it's somehow when you stretch, you know, in the opposite direction, you know what I'm saying? Like somehow the fat cells shrink when the light is coming from the upper echelon down, beaming on the midsection. Maybe this is what this stretch is about. It kind of takes me back to the Mayans. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this was a Mayan stretch right before they reached in and goddamn took your heart. You know, they just let somebody, I don't know. I can't put a finger on it, bro. Maybe this shrink the abdominal fat cells and a way of weight cutting. This may be an ancient clandestine way to cut belly fat. See, I told you, don't give me too long to look at this. I'm reeling it in. I'm breaking it down, y'all. This is ancient. This is the old ancient technique, man. For real. I knew it was something special about this back-to-back vertical, you know, R-shaped 3.0 body stretch, full-blown 360 body stretch that's going on here. This is a position that used to be considered torture rack. You know what I'm saying? They used to tie people up like this. I don't know. Man. I can't put it together. Like, Jesus. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove this for now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna remove it. Shout out to Haynes Legacy, man. Salute to you. Big shout out to you and your family, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Arrow gonna be a fish fry. The arrow section is gonna be anchovies. You already know, man. You already know. But hey, L Dog, hey, you know that. hey, you know L Dog, right? Blu-ray mad as hell. See, they went with the white boys. They went with the white boys, man. God damn it, they went with the white boys. That's Blu-ray's favorite shit. They went with the white boys. I don't know why they went with the white boys now. Blu-ray wish that was him stretching Arrow out. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, free Blu-ray, goddammit. Free Blu-ray, put Blu-ray back in the camp, dog. The man does exercises with his clients. Why y'all treating that man like that? Put him back in there so he can stretch Arrow out. You know what I'm saying? Look, before he used to have Arrow do like 7,000 push-ups before he work out. Man, just cut that shit down to like 5,000 and 48 and a half. You know what I'm saying? I mean, something small, man. He'll still have strength to go in there and get his workout in, man. Blu-ray learned his lesson. For real, let that man back in the camp, man. It'll bring much needed exposure to this fight and to the gym if Blu-ray was back on deck. Put that man back in this damn team, man. Put him back on the team. God damn, put that man back on the team. For real, free Blu-ray, dog. Free blue DVD. I don't know why he said Blu-ray, bro, but it's something we don't see, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's about. I have to get a tutorial on why he's Blu-ray. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going there, Toby. For real. I ain't going there, but y'all hold that shit down, man. I'm out. Peace.